also just enjoy the video that you're going to watch here in my travel yesterday. I did this all yesterday. Yes, yesterday meaning Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. But at the end of this video, I'm being forced to talk about why I use the hay rakes that I use and my choice in those hay rakes, why I use them. And that's what you're going to see at the end. So watch the entire video of my trip. Unless you don't like what you see, then you can fast forward to the end and then watch that, because that should be kind of interesting, maybe. Alright, so I'm on my route down to North Carolina. I'm on 495. That is the Delaware River there, or the Delaware Bay, I think. We're getting pretty close to that, to the port of Wilmington, Delaware. Delaware Memorial Bridge is in 13 Mile. I'm just kind of motoring down the highway here. I am going to be moving over. I got a guy coming up on my right. I don't need to be going to the races today, and I am not going to the races today. I'm going to follow the speed limit all the way down because I don't need to get pulled over by the the police. Just not going to do it. And, you know, it's okay. I should be able to easily roll through weigh stations or scales, no problem. I'm not overweight or anything. I have nothing on the back, as you can probably see by my mirror. But I really like driving in areas where there's not a lot of people or a lot of traffic, where you just don't have to grab that stick there on my right and shift away. I'm just tired of shifting. But anyways, I figured I would just kind of document a little bit of my journey along the way. I'm going to go down the eastern shore of Maryland. The reason for that is it's just easier, in my opinion. You know, once you get down, way down, like on 13 or whatever, it's just an easy route. Cross over the Bay Bridge, or the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, which is kind of cool. Never did that in a semi before, but there's a first time for everything, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cross it with a semi. It's going to cost me close to $100 to get across that thing. No problem, really. Just going to do it, right? Right. Oh, yeah. No, I'm going to do that, and then I'll work my way down. I think it's Route 17, and that'll go into Windsor, North Carolina, and then from there to Route 64 across and near to Rocky Mount, and that's how I'm going to go down. So that's just the way it is. I will be coming home Route 95. I'm going to drive that all the way up, and I'll be doing that tonight. I'm going to just grab up a few Red Bulls or whatever and make that trip home. It's going to be the 7530 and one baler, and then I'm going to turn and burn tomorrow and go ahead. Well, maybe I'll take a day off, get it unloaded, and then go back down on Thursday. I think Thursday would be the best way to do it. So anyways, that's the plan, and that's what we're going to do. And I got to get at least 2 loads, possibly 3 loads home, and then Steve will be back on the week of the 18th. I just need to, when the sun starts to shine, I just have to have that ability to bail, and I don't have that ability to bail right now because my balers are down in North Carolina, and I do have to get a tractor fixed. 7530 needs to have its brakes fixed, and I can get onto that pretty quickly, and those parts are already on order, and we'll just get that show on the road. And yeah, it just needs to be done. New oil, new filters, blah 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 blah, right? That's how it goes. Anyhow, that's what I'm doing. So I'm down in Virginia on a back road here. I don't know what they're picking, potatoes, I guess. Looks like they're picking up potatoes. I don't know anything about potatoes, but that's, well, other than digging them out of the garden, but as far as commercially grown potatoes, I just don't know. I'm looking to get down. I was on Route 12, and then I'm on, I forget what the heck, 635, I think this is, or 6 something. And I need to get to Route 175, and that will put me back down onto Route 13 down here in the Delmarva down in Virginia, and Route 13 all the way across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, or the Chesapeake Bridge Tunnel Bridge, and I need to get it through there into Virginia again, and then I'll hit 17 and go on down that route. But I kind of got to be careful because it's only a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit, but I'm kind of enjoying the scenery here. It's quite nice. A lot of fairly large open fields down here in Virginia on the Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia Peninsula. That's what it is. And yeah, you get to see some of this stuff down here. Corbin Hall. Corn looks pretty good down here. The beans are fair. Can't say that I would say that, well, these beans look really good. But for the most part, there's been a lot of soybeans down here that I've seen that are marginal. Again, out over the hood of this 379 Peterbilt, I can see Virginia over there. I'm in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, Tunnel Bridge. That's the northbound side. I'm on the southbound. Semi-rough seas. Got some white caps going on out there. But I'm about to cross into the first tunnel. And that's going to be both hands on the steering wheel. But I just thought it would be neat to show the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, Tunnel Bridge. I crossed this bridge for the first time in 1996 on my way down to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I went down there and took hang gliding lessons because I like to fly. And hang gliding lessons was where it was at. There's a small sailboat out there. I don't think you'll be able to see it. There's a couple of them. They're motoring for some reason. Why they don't, oh, there's a whole bunch of them actually. There's like a dozen of them, half a dozen of them out there. So they don't have their sails up, so they either don't know how to sail or they just want to use their motors right now, but their sails are down. So anyway, here comes my tunnel, and I will put this away, and that'll be that. I'll see you on the flip side. So my piece of shit GPS is taking me on tour to Virginia, and down every small town, big city, fucking highway it can do. It's pissing me off. I should have just took the 64 like I would have done in a normal situation, but you know what? It told me that I'd be there in no time at all. I got 103 miles to go, and I guarantee you I'm loading this thing in the dark. Loading it in the dark. And now I'm waiting for a very large train to go by. Oh, not so large. Okay, so it's the middle of the night. I've got my load on. Obviously, I'm not on Route 95. There was a scale that was open in Virginia, and I really didn't want to roll across it because I'm not sure if I'm overweight on my ass end. I don't believe I am, but I just don't feel like risking it. So I decided to take the Scenic Route on down through. I am not overloaded. I don't know if I've got my baler far enough forward on the deck of the trailer. So I just decided that it would be better to go around that scale, and that's the only scale that's open between here and home. So I get Tour de Virginia, which is kind of nice. I mean, they're back roads, and I'm motoring along at 55 mile an hour. I've got my GPS going there, and things are okay. It claims I'm going to be home at like, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning, which I don't know how it's going to be 8 o'clock in the morning when it's a 7-hour drive and I left at 10. So go figure. I'm not going to follow this thing out into the pits of hell just to just to get home. I'm just going to take, once I get on 95 again, I'm just going to take 95 all the way up. 95, 495 around Washington, and then all the way up. So We'll see what happens when I get to Washington, D.C. Gotta love that. Not really. Anyway, I'm a-driving. Okay, I just pulled in. The only thing I see that has happened is my hood opened up. Everything seems to be okay. Chains are still tight, right? My oversized load banner is still on. And the machine obviously is still on. So now I'm gonna go home and go to bed because I'm tired. Yeah. I guess I got up against something probably when I came around the corner over in Flemington. There's a what do you call it there? A curb there. And you come around a corner, and if you don't, there was a car coming the other way, and it was in my way, so I had to kind of rub the rail. Where's your car at? Where's your car? Okay. God, why do I look funny in that hat? You might as well bring out this one and really piss them off. Anyway, no. Okay, so here we go. I said okay about 45 times. I'm starting to sound like Will, or Will is starting to sound like me. But I would like to say about the hay rakes. The video I posted yesterday was the difference between 3 so-called mid-capacity hay rakes. I use a mid-capacity hay rake or a light-capacity, mid-capacity. Light-capacity would be the smaller models of the same thing. There's a reason I use those. They're fast. They're wicked fast. And for the cost of them, I can buy 3 of them for the price of one that does the same width in, say, a rotary rake. Rotary rakes are very complex, very high maintenance, and very expensive to use. Whereas these things, a wheel is $100, arm is $120, and my time to weld them back together when I break, it takes about an hour to get one rake completely ready to rock and roll for the day. And if it breaks, I've got 2 others that I can just go hook to and be back in the field. That is the reason that I buy those cheap mid-capacity rakes. So the other reason I use a mid-capacity rake over the high-capacity rake is because my fields are small. I live in New Jersey. It's called the Garden State for a reason. We have little garden patches. You know, you go in the field, it's 8-10 acres, boom, you knock it out. If you have to get off the tractor and unlock the wheels and then open them up in a high-capacity style type hay rake, it takes a lot of time. Whereas these light-duty, high-speed wheel rakes, you just pull in the field, open them up, and boom, you're going. You get into the corners of the field, you can get in really tight. We have a lot of over-square corners in our fields. So you take, say, a 16-wheel high-capacity hay rake into an over-tight corner, and you're leaving hay behind. So what I've noticed in my 21 years of experience making hay in New Jersey, actually I'm 49, but 21 years experience making a lot of hay in New Jersey. I've gone through H&S, I've gone through New Holland, I've gone through Gale hay rakes. What else I have? New Holland roller bars, I used those. And I have settled on these types of rakes for a very specific reason. Quality and economy. They're cheap. Easy access to new rake wheels and things like that. And it keeps the fields perfectly clean. This new rake, I'm not 100% sure that it is going to do what the 2112 did. I'm 99.9% sure, but it is actually a little bit bigger rake. It is put together a lot heavier. And somebody even asked me if the rake's working on a walking beam style would be better than the individual. Well, no. I'm getting away from the walking beam style rake wheels and going to the individually sprung style because I used it in the Peckway. That worked very well. I had it in the high capacity rakes as well. I never had a broken arm with those individual spring adjusted rake wheels. Those arms never broke, ever. And I did thousands and thousands of acres. Now, on the other side of it, I got a lot of guys that are like, oh, well, you should buy a twin rotary rake. Twin rotary rakes, you can't get into tight corners with them. You just can't. You actually have to go and back it in and waste a bunch of time. Well, when you got 3 or 4 balers behind you and there's 2 or 3 rakes ahead of these balers, those rakes need to be moving at 10, 15 mile an hour across the fields. That's it. 10 to 15 miles an hour across fields. You're not going to do that with a rotary rake. You're not going to get the speed out of it. Not making super high quality hay. We're making mulch hay for the mushroom industry. It can be 20, 25% moisture and cook out in the stack. I'm okay with that. These rakes do a wonderful job of cleaning the field. They do a wonderful job of rolling it up nice and tight to that big baler. I don't have to do a lot of swerving. I can adjust it easily. And it's cheap. I paid $9,500 for that brand new rake. That's what I paid. I'm not saying that you're going to get that price, but that's the price that I got. The other rakes, $7,200. So I can buy 3 of those $7,200 rakes, and still I can buy 4 $7,200 rakes to one twin rotor rotary rake and do monumental amounts of work and not really worry about those broken bits, because when you run that rotary rake, say, into a tight corner, and your rotary actually hits some obstruction that's along the field, you're fucked. Me, pop a wheel off, throw another one on, 10 minutes later, I'm back in the field, going. And that's why I use those rakes. If you don't like my analogy of these things, you can ram that right up your own ass, because I've explained this before. I can only tell some people so many times why I use those rakes and why they are the best fit for me. Now, if I was doing alfalfa, it'd be the last rake that I use. I would go out and waste a whole bunch of money to buy a rotary rake to do that alfalfa just perfect, so I can get $180 to $250 a ton for alfalfa that costs me 5 times as much money to get it into a bale. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed my trip. That was yesterday, not 2 days ago. Yesterday, I woke up at noon today. I got to bed by 6:30 this morning. So, yay! Have a nice day. I hope you all enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. But don't make stupid comments that make me have to do this at the end of the videos, because I know that you think there are better things for me to use out there. But there's not. I've already done that. Rotary rakes' arms fly off. They suck.